Welcome to another episode of David Michael Woods Unfiltered. Look at some clips and some discussions on today's court case. Day number 13, New York versus Donald J. Trump.
Back in a New York City courtroom as we hit day 13 of his ongoing criminal trial. And an attorney for Stormy Daniels says the actress is expected to appear as a witness in Trump's hush money trial today. Stormy is going to show up.
Yeah, they're out of big names. This is one of the biggest. Eric Shawn is live outside the courthouse with what we can expect today. Follow the COO with someone a little bit more exciting.
Brian and Steve, Stormy on the stand. That's what the AP has been reporting, just breaking a few moments ago, that the next witness in the Trump trial will be Stormy Daniels. She is expected to testify, of course, about getting paid off, according to her claim, by Michael Cohen to keep her alleged affair with the former president secret so that it would not affect the 2016 presidential election, and Mr. Trump's presidential candidacy would not be hurt if the allegations of that affair, that alleged one-night stand, was made public before the election for the voters to find out. This all comes as the president yesterday defiantly said that, yes, he is willing to even go to jail to protect his constitutional rights.
I have to watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about it. Because this judge has given me a gag order and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day.
Well, Judge Weimer Shawn says Trump could wind up behind bars if he keeps being found in contempt of court. The judge ruling, quote, defendant not only called into question the integrity and therefore the legitimacy of these proceedings, but again raised the specter of fear for the safety of the jurors and their loved ones. The court finds the defendant in criminal contempt. In court yesterday, the focus was on the Trump Organization's process to pay Michael Cohen to allegedly reimburse him for paying Stormy to keep quiet. Jurors saw the checks that Trump signed, $35,000 each, prosecutors say, to reimburse Cohen for paying off Stormy. Former Trump Organization controller Jeffrey McConney admitted that he was told by the Trump CFO Alan Weisselberg that the checks were meant to reimburse Cohen. Jurors then saw a note that McConney scribbled on Trump letterhead saying he had to double the payout so Cohen could cover the taxes. Prosecutors say that's evidence of the payoff plot, but McConney said the checks were for Cohen's legal work. So in a few moments, about an hour from now, we expect the start of a big day with Ms. Daniels taking the stand, the first time, as far as we know, being in the same room with the former president since her alleged affair with him many years ago. We'll see what she has to say as she outlines this alleged plot to keep her quiet, what the president may have told her, what Michael Cohen may have told her, too. Big day here at court. Back to you.
Indeed. All right. Thank you very much, Eric. I'm Steve.
She was in the courtroom today. Sounds like the judge is serious, Alina, and it sounds like the double standard has gotten worse.
It has, Sean. There's no other way of saying it. We've seen it time and time again.
Person, Alina Habba, she was in the courtroom today. Sounds like the judge is serious, Alina, and it sounds like the double standard has gotten worse.
It has, Sean. There's no other way of saying it. We've seen it time and time again, as you're seeing with the comments that you made. We've got witnesses that are allowed to talk and go on MSNBC or MSDNC, as my client likes to call it, CNN, and talk about my client, talk about this case, but for some reason he can't talk. That doesn't make any sense. And then you layer that with a judge who has clear ambitions and political motivations. He's threatening to throw a former president, and as he acknowledged, most importantly today in the courtroom while I was there, this is probably going to be the future president. And for somebody who's left wing to say that was shocking. But he did, and he recognized it and then threatened to put him in jail for speaking. He didn't even speak, frankly, Sean. He reposted things that other people said. And that in itself, he called contempt. We are looking at a serious dual system of justice. We are in a state of crisis when it comes to our judicial system. This is election interference so that he cannot campaign because Biden cannot win if he doesn't hold him in court.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Alina, we're watching this all unfold before our eyes, like we're living in a third world.
And, we will finally hear from her, her depiction of the relationship, the encounter, all that stuff with Donald Trump.
Yeah, so much for NDAs. This is what we've been hearing.
What's the point of them?
Right. This is what we've been hearing from a couple witnesses on the stand, that Donald Trump traditionally would not pay people for NDAs or to kill stories because he said the story always gets out. Basically, it's a waste of money. And here we are.
What is the prosecution's approach? What does the prosecution need her to say?
They're going to, I think, really delve into why she thinks Donald Trump wanted to pay her as part of this to keep the story quiet. They're going to want to talk about whether she thought that the reason this all came together was to help him win the election. So they're going to, I think, focus on that. And then the defense will come in and say, well, isn't it possible that he also wanted to suppress the story because it would negatively affect his wife and his family? Can all of these things be true?
Yeah, what about the gag order? The judge is saying threatening jail time if he continues to do this. But you have Michael Cohen on social media talking about this. Donald Trump can't even retweet someone's comments on social media.
It's fundamentally unfair that the judge has imposed a gag order against Donald Trump and not Michael Cohen. I think that's very obvious at this point.
And from the Department of Justice, where you used to work, our own David Spunt has just sent something out regarding the gag order, because yesterday Mr. Trump was found in violation a 10th time and fined another $1,000. Fox News confirms via a source familiar with the discussions there are internal conversations within the U.S. Secret Service regarding Donald Trump going to jail. Those conversations picked up yesterday after the judge floated the
I think that would just help him. I think it would help him.
Oh, I think it would help him too, but the Secret Service, to David's point, they have to know how to do it. They have to be prepared, which is wild if you think about this.
Yeah, we heard about that before, so we'll see if he does it. The president came out. He seems to also have been disciplined on the stump the weekend before, so he can hold it back. Real quick, is the jigsaw puzzle for the prosecution coming together? Last week and starting this week, they're trying to show that he paid off them for his election fortunes, and they're trying to take it from a bookkeeping error to trying to win an election. Is this puzzle coming together for the prosecution?
I continue to not think so, having been there day after day. And, I pulled up a statement that Michael Cohen put out when he was sentenced in 2018. And you know what he said in that statement? That this payment was for both the election and because Donald Trump was concerned about his family. That's in Michael Cohen's own words, a statement he put out 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. And
why is that important?
It's important because I think that the prosecution's theory of the case appears to be that he was defrauding, and by the way, defrauding who? Unclear. Defrauding the American people by suppressing this story in order to help him win the election, and somehow that is a violation of either state or federal election law. Of course, the federal piece wouldn't make sense because they don't have jurisdiction over that, and DOJ declined to bring it.
Carrie, I know you've been in there every day. Is there anything you would do differently if you were Donald Trump's attorneys?
So the one thing I'm a little bit surprised about is why not just own the fact that, yes, I paid this woman, this compensation for this NDA. It's not illegal. Yes, there were discussions about catch and kill schemes. Not illegal. Yes, I didn't want bad stories about myself, especially when it came to women. Not illegal. So why are we here? This is a court of law. There are crimes. Elements need to be proved. And one thing I've picked up on, I was thinking about yesterday, I was sitting with Lydia Hu, one of our Fox Business correspondents in the courtroom, and she does a great job. We were talking about this element of intent to defraud that comes with the falsifying business records charge. And we were talking to each other and saying, well, who is he intended to defraud? The American people? Because if that's the case, what about all of the politicians that make promises that they never keep? We're going to lower taxes. We're going to close the partisan divide. We're going to solve the energy crisis. And if they don't execute those promises, were they defrauding people when they ran? And are there grounds if they were some kind of attached to a payment somewhere? It's quite something.
And how many weeks do you think we're looking at still? You see,
so the prosecution said yesterday that 2 weeks. They'll be finished with their case 2 weeks from yesterday.
All right.
2 weeks for the president to avoid jail.
And you've got an assignment for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
All right.
Nice to see you, Carrie.
She's thrilled. Who's ready for it to be over?
Okay, so the headline once again, if you're just joining us, it sounds like, according to the Associated Press, Stormy Daniels is going to take the stand today.
Why do you release the Truth Social post?
Mr. Trump, why did you delete the Truth Social post this morning?
Are you a victim of extortion?
The country is on fire. There are protests all over the country. I've never seen anything like this. Many graduation ceremonies are being canceled. They canceled, as you know, in Colombia. They're canceling a lot of them. And we have a president that just refuses to talk because he can't talk. You know that, and so does everyone else. Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said, we heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense. There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense. Is that a correct statement, Mr. Attorney? And everyone's saying, oh, gee, that's the fraud. That's what they're trying to get us on. The fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense. They marked it down in the books. The check was signed. And the other thing, this was approved by all agencies. Everybody saw this. There was nothing being hidden at all. That's what they're all writing now. There's been nothing hidden. And it went through agencies, and I guess it went through the IRS also. It went through IRS. It went through the FEC. It went through everything. Also, NBC Today showed the challenges that there is no smoking gun, no email or tape to prove the president's intent. They don't have a way to prove that. That's NBC Today show. And then Fox News, Katie Cherkasky, said that the gag order is unconstitutional, which of course it is. The gag order is unconstitutional. So with all that's going on, they have no case. Every single legal scholar that I see, I mean, maybe there's somebody out there, some whack job, but for virtually everyone that I've seen has said there's absolutely no case. It's a case that shouldn't have been brought. The previous DA wouldn't bring it. Bragg didn't want to bring it, and he brought it because I'm running in number one place. This all comes out of the White House and crooked Joe Biden. This comes from the White House, and it's all Biden because it's an attack on his political opponent. That hasn't happened in this country. It does happen in third world countries, but it hasn't happened in this country, and it's a shame. And the trial is a very unfair trial. It's a very, very unfair trial. The good news is they have nothing. Thank you.
Why is it unfair?
Mr. President, do you plan on testifying?
Why is the trial unfair?
Thank you for watching another episode of David Michael Woods Unfiltered. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share the video, and give us a like. And stay tuned for more exciting videos covering all U.S. politics and world news.